Let's take a look at the Sandbox. Last time we looked at the Sandbox was yesterday, November the 23rd. Here is a recap. And started the second wave. So far, as part of the second wave, Sandbox already ran up to about $5.60 from a low of 80 cents. So in a matter of 4 weeks, it spiked up by 7x. That is absolutely impressive. With the current market cap of about 4 billion, there's no doubt that the Sandbox has a lot more room to run up in the future. But in the near term, this bull run or the second wave has to end at a certain point to allow the normal process of retracement and consolidations so that the Bollinger Band can contract to build momentum to support another run up in price. So the question for us right now is, what is the upside potential for this current bull run? And how deep would this retracement be? Let's see if we can figure this out. When the Sandbox started this bull run, it's very much trending within this upward channel. As you can see, when the price tested the resistance, it retraced. The minute it hit the support, bounce right back up. Retest the support again, bounce up. And now, after it reached an all-time high at 5.6, it is testing the resistance of this upward channel. And that's why we are seeing selling pressure right now. And the price of the sand is retracing. Also looking at the stochastic oscillator, there's no doubt right now the blue signal line is at about 97%. It is in this overbought territory. And there is an indication that the blue signal line would likely cross over and drop below the red line, a possible indications for the price to begin retracing. So does it mean that at 5.68, this could potentially be the top for the second wave? The Sandbox have run up from the top of the first wave. So at 344, ran up to 5.68 in terms of the extension. It is right now in between the 1.618 to 2 times the extension. And that is very normal for the second wave run up in price. So normally I would say, well, maybe at 5.68, this could potentially be the top for the second wave. However, looking at the volume continued to increase. And this is an indication that lots of buying support. Buyers are anxious to jump in and get a hold of this token. So they are driving the price up. Because of this, I do believe that the Sandbox has more room to run up. It could potentially run up to as high as 2.61 times. And that would be right at close to about $8. Fast forward, this is the daily chart for the Sandbox, and the data I have is to 8 a.m. Pacific Standard Time on November the 24th. Yesterday, when we look at the Sandbox, it was right at the resistance of this upward channel. At that time, I mentioned about the volume. The volume continued to increase. And today, look at the amount of volume. It's massive. That's why the Sandbox pretty much just breezed right past this resistance, make this massive run up in price. Right now, the Sandbox is trading at 740 or up almost 40%. Looks like the momentum is pushing the price more toward the upper end at the $8 range. But as long as the momentum or the volume continue to increase, there is always that possibility that the momentum could potentially push the price much higher. Let's take a look at the Sandbox on this 5-minute chart. I just want to show you how bullish this chart is. The Sandbox briefly traded sideways, very much in this consolidations. After that, the volume pick up, spike up, and then consolidate, then spike up again. See the amount of volume? Retrace or consolidate. Now looks like it is forming this bull flag, and it just broke out. The target for the breakout of this bull flag could technically take the Sandbox to as high as $9. Switch over to the daily chart. So if the Sandbox can continue the breakout of that little bull flag, and if it reached its target price, that would be right at around the $9, which is within this new range, which is about 2.61A to 3.61A, the extension. And momentum could likely even push it higher. So now we're looking at the possibility for the Sandbox to run as high as $10 as part of the second wave. The volume continue to be massive. This is a clear indication that the buyer continue to jump in and they are taking new positions, and that's why we see this major spike up in price. So as long as the volume continue to increase, the probability for the Sandbox to reach the $10 range is very high. However, looking at the stochastic oscillator, right now these two signal lines are definitely in this way overbought territory. The blue signal line is almost at the 100%, which is definitely way overbought. But then the volume continue to increase. So what I believe that the high probability of what's going to happen is the Sandbox would likely retrace and retest the 10 days moving average. When it retraces, it would allow these two signal lines to get out of the overbought range, but continue on this uptrend. So it would kind of like zigzag its way and eventually reach the $10 range as part of this second wave. So the Sandbox is definitely looking very strong right now. It is the Energizer's bunny of crypto. And at a market cap of around 7 billion, it still has a lot more room to run up. However, I do believe that once it reaches about or near the $10 range, that would likely be the top for the second wave. And it would likely retrace, consolidate before it could make another run up in price. I love the Sandbox. The spike up of almost like 44% today is very tempting. But one of my rules is never chase after the bull. So I just continue to be patient and just wait for the Sandbox run up and finish the second wave and then retrace, consolidate, and the minute it get to my target price as part of this consolidations, then I would likely begin to accumulate, because I would definitely have both the Sandbox as well as the Decentraland in my portfolio. That's it for this video, and don't forget to click that like button and reward me with a like if you appreciate the content that I'm presenting. Also, if you are new to my channel, don't forget to click that subscribe button and subscribe, and make sure you turn notification on. And if you have Twitter, make sure you follow me at Vietmaxim, because I provide constant update on all of our favorite cryptos.